Got, excuse me, an update on a vacuum that I never use ever. I've only used it twice. Once with the video that I did, and another when I was just kind of using it for the first time. Um, 3 times tops. But this thing's been sitting in, I guess, technical storage. It's more like my bedroom closet for several months now. And, well, actually, over a year, I believe. So I figured, why not do an update on it? So, for those of you who have not seen, or maybe you've recently joined my channel and haven't really gone back and seen some of my videos, this is my Oreck Halo, and I bought this from True Value locally. It's a very large True Value. You can see the sticker, and the woman sold it to me for $125, which is the sticker up on the handle, and told me that she could no longer get parts for the vacuum. So I don't want that. She was just selling them for a low price, which I don't really believe her. Um, I think that they just didn't sell well. I don't think that they were not an Oreck retailer, and I wouldn't know why True Value would even have some of these Orecks, because they also had an Oreck XL Gold, and they also had the Dust Busters that went to this and the other Oreck. And I told her that it comes as a power team, and she's like, no, 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 it doesn't, which she might have been right on that part, because there is a hose on the back of this vacuum. This thing's brand new, though. And you can see the sale price that I paid for it, because this thing sat for a very long time, probably close to 10 years, never being used, just sitting on a store shelf, which I was recently on my Let Go app, and I had seen that I had posted my Sharp Twin Energy Supercharged. It was like an eggplant color on there, because it needed a new brush roll, so it would squeak after being run for an extended period of time. I actually have that posted on my Let Go. It's marked as sold, but I can look at it in my history. It just brings back memories of when I used to go there a lot. I no longer visit because I feel like they think I'm a weirdo, because I go in and they're like very focused on customer service there. So literally everyone will pass by you and ask you if they can help you with something. It's a big store, but it's really not. I'd say it's about the size of a grocery store, but they've got so much stuff there. A lot of new old stock, such as this. But I just find them very annoying. And this one woman there, she always like gives off this vibe that she thinks I'm stealing, because I'm young and I look younger than I am, and people tell me I look 12 or 13 all the time. Oh my goodness, look! It's Roseanne, and he's using like a, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a Ricard, like a early model Ricard, but I wouldn't know why. I mean, as poor as they depict them to be, that seems like an expensive vacuum for them to own. But anyway, back to the Oreck. Overall, I remember when using this, I just turned it on just to see how loud it was, because I remembered this being a loud vacuum, but it's really not. It's not too bad. So for those of you who don't know, these Oreck Halos were very short-lived. They didn't sell very well, and there were some people who were giving them as in-home trials. Oreck was not the original owner. You can see this thing will really pull up the pet hair, but apparently it gets lodged in here. Very aggressive agitation, and it's one of 2 Oreck uprights, one being the Oreck Touch, but that's a bagless machine, but this is the only Oreck bagged vacuum cleaner that's an upright with brush roll shutoff and separate motors. But it's still a direct air motor. So you can see the Halo technology. It's these lights down here, and the only way for this to activate is something has to press down. I think it has sensors. First of all, it has to be reclined, but it has sensors to see if it's actually in contact with the floor. And you can see you've got a height adjustment on the side. One of the very few Orecks, if not the only Oreck upright to have height adjustment. So again, though, this isn't really made by Oreck. It's made by the Halo company. The bags inside of it are the same bags as the Oreck Edge. Many will say that this vacuum, the Touch, and the Oreck Edge are the 3 worst vacuums that Oreck ever made. I actually find this, I gotta set this down because the zipper's all crazy. Yeah. Anyway, many will say that this is one of the worst Orecks ever made because they were very problematic, but that's because maybe they were sort of unreliable, and they were very heavy. Now I've got to put it back down. I should just hit the pause button, but also, people who service Oreck are used to the ease and the simplistic factor. This is from sitting for so long and never being used. People are so used to the Oreck being such an easy vacuum to service, so when they introduce a vacuum like this, it's like, oh my goodness, this is just crazy. This is ridiculous. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to put some oatmeal down, and then we're also going to do an under the carpet test, or a flower, or whatever under the rug, just because I really do believe this is a good deep cleaner. Probably one of the best Oreck deep cleaners, or the only Oreck deep cleaner out there. So just a sec. And I am back. Magic of camera work. But I'm the one that actually feels the difference now that I had to do all that. It only took a couple minutes, but I don't have any more oatmeal. So I took some Ritz crackers, crumpled them up, which probably wasn't a good idea because they have butter on them, but I mean, I've got all the equipment to clean it up and whatever else. So it looks like there's a lot of big pieces, yes. But when you come down closer, there's even smaller pieces, like in there. So this will be an interesting test. I also, I guess, have a little pet hair demo over here from where I pulled that out of the brush. And then down here, the lint roller, it's actually more towards the left. Well, the left with the vacuum facing it. Some baby powder. So, and I guess I should show you that so people don't say, well, there's no baby powder underneath it. It does actually succeed. So there's the baby powder. Now, probably never do this test of the rainbow because, one, I don't know if it would actually pick it up. Probably not. And two, talcum powder is not water soluble very much, and I'm not going to use my HEPA filter to help filter it out. So moving on, we will go and I'll show you the Oreck. I'm not going to do an attachment demo just because it's time consuming and you have to take the hose off the vacuum and plug it into this port down here. I will show you the port, however. It's right here, and you can see that there's a little bit of dirt buildup in there. So it does get a lot of fine stuff, but there's a nice big gasket right here, and that just seals down like that. I would imagine that this is under pressure, well, but under suction, because the air, I'm assuming, is generated around here somewhere and pulled in this way. So don't stick your finger in there. And I don't think that the motor spins any faster, but I do remember being quite impressed by this vacuum, so we'll see if it still holds true. You can hear the brush roll kick in. Little agitation. A lot of stuff is coming right towards it. Oh, I ran that over with the wheel. So I turned the Halo technology on, which is a total fluke. So, I want to say this is one of the best grooming marks I've ever seen. I've never used this vacuum on this carpet before, and it is very hard to push because of how sealed to the carpet it is. But if you could see, they did miss a couple pieces. There's a piece right there and a piece right here. But this thing brought the carpet back to life. I mean, this grooms and leaves like these almost microscopic like cornrows, almost like a field in the carpet, and this is showing up way better than a lot of my other machines are able to do. It leaves excellent lines in the carpet, but the lines aren't squished down, which is typically what you don't want to see in a vacuum. It adds more depth, of course, because you've got two different heights, what's squished down and what's actually raised up. But this one seems to still stand it up, but give it a color pattern from the different strokes that you've used. And it did an excellent job. Now this, you can see, I didn't even vacuum beyond those spots, so that I just didn't get to. But it didn't snow plow anything. Very, very impressed on this carpet. Like I said, I've never used it on this carpet. I've never used my Dyson DC65 on this carpet. That vacuum I probably haven't used the longest out of every vacuum that I own. Very, very, very impressed. And you could see that the brush roll's off in the upright position. It engages when you turn the vacuum on, it automatically engages. Very powerful. And it really seals itself to the carpet. And it has that familiar Oreck sound. So we'll come up here and see if this can deep clean and how well of a job it can deep clean. Of course, it doesn't mean much anymore except for the history's sake to see what people missed out on because they no longer sell this. We'll do one pass. And see what it was able to do, if anything. Excellent cart. I'm just so shocked at how well this groomed. So it actually picked up a considerable amount. It looks as though there's some still here, of course, but a lot of this is actually kind of smushed into the carpet. So, I'm gonna take, well, I have a sock somewhere, I'm sure. We'll take this sock, and we'll wipe this up. Okay? We'll put down a new, fresh layer. Okay, and see what it'll do now. So that needs to be more like right here, so I know where to vacuum. There. Smells good. So we'll go back. Let's try 3 passes this time. One, two, three. And see what it did. Now the one thing that I know is for sure about this, the vacuum doesn't vacuum the same way as like a Kirby does. It doesn't just suck itself to the carpet because of all the weight on the nozzle. It just has the power to be able to do it. So it still glides very nicely across low pile, or not glides. It still stands up the pile very well, and it still deep cleans, which I found, I mean, just that line right there. I'm just very impressed with the lines that this thing can generate. So still some down here on the carpet, but still pretty good. I would say that if this was still in production, this would be as close as you could get to a Riccar performance for something, but it's not lightweight at all. This thing weighs probably close to 20 pounds. It is around the same weight as like the Cibo X4 or maybe even the Miele Twist that I own. It's definitely not lightweight because of all the technology that's packed into the base. And this is the container of baby powder. You can see it's a pretty tall vacuum, the base is. So you're not going to get much clearance underneath it. But very good at cleaning. It really is. And like I've said in my previous videos, it's not that I don't think that under the carpet tests mean anything. I do think it means something, because if it's able to clean everything up like a powder or something underneath the carpet, then, and with the resistance of the carpet backing, then it should be able to pull air all the way through the fibers and get anything that can be loosened up without actually physically removing it with your hand. But there are some vacuums like the Miele S7 that still deep clean down to the padding of the carpet, and that's really all that matters. You're not vacuuming to vacuum what's underneath the carpet. A vacuum that can do that is kind of an extra bonus. But there are still excellent machines out there that can clean the carpet thoroughly, that just don't have that extra little bit of power to do something incredible like that. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, I've been trying to do as many video requests as I can. If you have video requests, let me know, and I will try my best to make that happen. It's been easier to be able to upload videos over the last couple weeks because I've been working second shift, but I'll be on third shift here soon. So like I said, I try and do the best that I can. I have hopefully a Kirby versus Rainbow video coming up. I feel like that's very been there, done that, but it was a request by someone. The only issue with that is I don't really have any way to do a professional test. Like, some people make these elaborate tools and things to measure airflow, and I just don't have the time or the skill set to be able to do something like that. But it's very appreciated for those who do. But thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. And like I said, drop a comment and let me know what you guys think, and if you have any requests or questions.